Their names. Yeah.
Hey, Mickey.
I think. Yeah, I think some of those guys are. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey, say hi, guys, for me. Hey, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys. Hey,
Oh,
Mickey
man.
here.
No bad pants. That's never gonna happen. Okay. Do you guys want to go?
Oh man. Yeah, they're bringing up the time that Jared and myself.
He was
Mickey
there.
kissed, and
It's
I
part of the
feel-
lore.
Yeah, Jeff was there.
He was
I'm
there.
pretty sure I was there for that.
He was there. It was just
No,
one time.
no. It's an AI music video or music, whatever.
It was just the one time.
That
And-
happened.
Okay. All right. Are y'all ready to go? Let's do it. You ready? Okay.
Yes.
Ooh, let's switch the screen. This is the Game Heroes podcast. Oh shit! Oh my god, there's stuff falling all over the table. A show about loving video games, the only show that will completely ignore when another one of their hosts, is out sick again. Anyway, welcome to the show. Today our hosts include Handsome Tom, Geoff Sexiness, and I'll be here. This is episode number 18. It is September 25th, 2024, and on this day in gaming history, 17 years ago, Halo 3 was released on the Xbox 360.
Oh my god.
I know.
Oh,
That was almost 20 years ago.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what? Halo 3. What year was it? 17 years ago. I'm not thinking clearly today.
2007? 2007.
Okay, never mind. All right. I was thinking Halo 2. Andy, the movie and the game, and I snuck into the back room at a GameStop and played it 2 weeks before it came out.
Oh.
I would get excited when TJ or Tom, when you would get online, because I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get carried for like 5-10 levels.
Hey, Perfect Liz and I were pretty
You guys were
solid at
good.
effing Halo, man.
Yeah,
we
you guys
were
were really
real
good.
competitive back in the day.
Okay.
It's like playing with the evil goat man Steve, man. We were always like, oh, Steve's on. He's
Oh,
gonna go
exactly.
for 90.
Oh my
Right.
god.
Okay. On today's show, it is the return of Geoff Sexiness. There he is. You're looking at him. And of course, we'll have the video game roundup. Oh, actually, I don't think we will. The Trisorts News, Handsome Tom's Collector's Corner, and last but not least, we may have time to play a game, depending on how this goes. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you're subscribed and drop us a like on this video. It really helps us out. And tell us in the comments, where were you when the Game Heroes started? Back in 2008? Is that right?
Oh,
No.
god, no. It was
2007.
Was it
6
7?
or yeah, 7. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was still with ScrewAttack 2006. No, it's probably 2006. That might have been when I
Yeah.
left ScrewAttack, and then like a month or two later, then
That was
we
shortly
started.
after the big like ScrewAttack event that y'all had.
The SGC. And no, I
yeah.
left right before the SGC came out,
Oh,
even though I
that's right.
set up that entire event.
And I worked it.
Oh, you did?
along with Jordan Doom. Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't know you guys worked it. That's just terrible.
Well, I don't know if you can call it work. I think volunteered for it.
You
is
hung
more
out
accurate.
and got probably had fun. That's the best way
Yeah,
to put it.
yeah. No, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Well, I guess.
Well, cool. Well,
yeah.
look, we
Without
need to hear
further
from Jeff,
ado,
man.
welcome,
Yeah.
Jeff. Good to see you. A round of
It's
applause.
good to see y'all as well. I'll be honest with you. I've missed it. It's been a long time. Shooting the Ultracast was always the highlight of my week and or month, depending on the time frames when we were uploading.
So, did
back
you
then.
watch the throwback that we
I-
posted last week?
Not only did I watch the throwback, but I also sat my wife down and made her watch it because she had never seen any of my work from those days. Because
Right,
finding
right.
those videos is incredibly difficult.
But
but
I have more. If you want to see
Oh,
more, we can
God,
post more
yes.
videos.
Just,
Okay.
I'll dump them all, get them all up there. I need a history of my cringe forever immortalized on YouTube.
That's the scary part, though, of this whole experience, is that all the content that we made was so long ago that the probability of the cringe factor is a little scary.
Well, especially when you're covering an anime convention and having to really like get into it. Whew.
Well, they've
Boy.
gotten bigger since then, man. I mean, there was that show is probably 5 times bigger now than it was when we were
Oh.
doing that stuff.
Oh no, yeah. Well, unfortunately, Acon isn't anymore.
Well,
Acon-
other events, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no, exactly. No, but yeah, and what I meant was covering a nerdy convention in the early 2000s yeah, it's going to be cringe central is what I'm trying to say. If we went back and like covered, Anime Fest or something this year, it'd be way cooler and we'd be totally nice and it'd be awesome.
Which we
But
should
yeah,
do.
no.
Well, actually, we have passes. I need to call the Game Chasers, but we're supposed to go to their event next month in Fort Worth. So they're doing their Retropalooza. We were planning on going that as long as
I have been to one of their Retropaloozas. That's a really good event. They put on a good show. Yeah.
Yeah, I already asked if we could film. They said it'd be great if you guys want to come hang out. So we kind of have a foot in the door there. I texted them a few weeks ago. So that's good. Anyway, sorry, back to Geoff. Geoff, man, I wanted to talk a little bit about, we'll just go back and catch people up. I mean, you and I met, you were working at Comp USA.
Yes,
with
you were
crazy hair. Yeah, with crazy hair Tony.
Oh my God. Yeah, Tony. Oh my God.
Oh, crazy hair
he's
Tony.
still alive, by the way.
I'm very glad to hear that.
He's in Austin.
Good.
Anyway, he's still alive. Anyway, that's when I started doing the website stuff. So I had this part-time job doing the HP reps thing. And, I would talk to all these dudes at work, and Geoff just had such a sexy voice. I was like, hey, man, why don't you come, if you're willing, come film some stuff with us. I mean, we just started, and he did some of the bumpers and some of the ads for ScrewAttack. And, not much past that. I forgot you worked the thing that I asked you to volunteer for before I quit, which is interesting. But
well, was that the Iron Man of gaming?
No, the first one. This is the second one, the SGC, ScrewAttack Gaming Convention.
Yes.
So the Iron Man of Gaming was the first one that we did at MLG, which was actually a pretty fun event. So
I think that was the one that I worked, actually. Now that I'm thinking about Iron Man of Gaming.
Okay, so you didn't do the one in Grapevine. Yeah. Okay.
No.
This was in Dallas.
I covered an event at Grapevine. I had one on-camera segment for ScrewAttack once. Like I interviewed somebody, and then
I remember that. I might actually still have it. So I'll have to look in the archives of you interviewing somebody for
that is some deep lore right there.
Yeah. Well, I tried to keep off, with everything, because you never know when you're gonna lose something. Anyway. So yeah, catch us back up. You're still alive. You still play video games every once in a while, I assume. I know you got married. Congratulations, by the way, even though it's been probably a few years.
We got married in the pandemic, so it was a very very tiny ceremony in a friend's living room. In fact, the friend who was our officiant didn't know the wedding was happening until like 2 hours before it happened. We were going over to just hang out and watch TV because we had our little like exclusion bubble where we all only hung out with each other and didn't go anywhere. And we came over for like a movie night or something, and I pulled my friend aside and was like, hey, you still are certified to be like an officiant, right? And he was like, yeah. I was like, cool. We're gonna get married tonight, so just come up with something.
just do it. Just make it happen.
Wing it. And he had fun with it. We all had a good time. It was nice. It was a lovely little moment. But yeah, good God. Okay, so since the company I worked for at the time no longer exists, I feel comfortable in confirming that while I was working at Game Heroes, I was also working for a little company called South Peak Games.
Yes.
I was a marketing manager there, and we went to great lengths to hide that fact when I was doing the Ultracast. But that's also part of the reason why the Ultracast focused specifically on like gaming adjacent stuff. We would talk about technology and news stories and things like that. And I would try really hard not to touch gaming unless it was extremely retro, because since I worked in the industry, I didn't want any cross-contamination to happen or anybody to get mad. And so, yeah, so I was working at South Peak for a while, and then that company folded. Do
you still have any South Peak swag, like any kind of cool stuff before you left?
Yeah, I've got a bottle opener that is branded with TNA Impact for the PSP.
Okay, there you go.
I still have my copy of Section 8 somewhere around here, and Ninja Town.
Nice. Dude, I totally forgot about Section 8. I've got my copy of Section 8 too. We all got into that because of you, I think.
And that's the thing. JD, Section 8 was a good game. Yeah, with Action Genes. Section 8, you mentioned that Halo 3 came out 17 fucking years ago. Yeah. 2 years later, Halo ODST came out. And it was such a bummer because Section 8 had the burn-in drop onto the field mechanic before
Yeah, it was super
ODST did.
Right.
And in fact, a lot of the mechanics that showed up in ODST were in Section 8 beforehand. Now, it's not like they stole anything from us, but it was just like, fuck, we can't differentiate ourselves in the market because like 4 months later, ODST came out. Then there were problems where the company wasn't spending enough money on the servers, so there was tons of issues with that. Yet ODST, or Section 8 was one of the first games where you could play 128 players on a server on 360. The catch was you had to run the server locally on a PC. It was super easy to do. You could download the server thing for free, and it was literally a one-click install, one-click run. But almost nobody knew to do that. So yeah, but yeah, no, I still have some shirts and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a good time. I worked for one of the worst industries, or one of the worst companies in the industry at the time. But we had a lot of fun, and everybody I worked with was super talented. We just were saddled with some of the higher ups that made far too safe of decisions most of the time, unfortunately.
Well, speaking of people you worked with, all right, you got to catch us up on Jordan Doom, Shane. Where are those guys? You still keep in touch with them at all? Or yeah,
I don't see Jordan much anymore, unfortunately. A few years after the Ultracast, she got her degree in medicine and became an OR nurse, like specializing in heart surgeries and stuff like that. She met a heart surgeon, got married, had a couple of kids, you know, has a very, very successful, very fulfilling life. So I'm very happy for her. Director Shane is living in Fort Worth right now. He's got a production company that he does some stuff with. Forget the primary client, but like he's still directing, he's still shooting stuff, he's still doing a lot of cool stuff. And Action Genes, who was also working at Southeast.
He's at EA now, isn't he?
Yes, he is at EA. He is the producer for the mobile side of their soccer stuff that can't be called FIFA anymore. Yeah, so
just soccer.
I forget. I feel bad. I forget what it's actually called now, but like Football Manager or something like that. He all of their mobile and that kind of gaming content. He is the producer for that. So he is still got his feet in the industry, as it were. But yeah, but yeah, cool. No, everyone's doing well.
Well, we might have to borrow some of Shane's equipment if we go to Retropalooza in Fort Worth.
I'll reach out to him.
Make us look good.
Make it a full reunion.
Right. Very cool, man. So, side note, what are you playing these days?
Right now, as of the last week, I fell deep into a Subnautica hole. I know that game came out what fucking 6 years ago, but something
at least it's
about
not Halo 3.
Well, yeah, it's not Halo 3, Jesus. But something about that style of gameplay just grabs me. I love exploration. I love that sense of wonder that comes from just naturally stumbling across something. The storyline of the ancient alien civilization, all that stuff, it just ticks all my boxes. So that has been, I've just dumped 50 hours into that game in the last couple of weeks, just starting from scratch, because I never actually beat it. I got 70% of the way through it. And then the pandemic happened, and then my apartment burned down and my computer was destroyed.
Okay, you just jumped a whole nother section there. Your apartment burned down? This wasn't your fault, was it?
It was literally my fault. I'm the guy.
He didn't say he burned the apartment down. He said
I
burned the apartment down. I did. No, that is me.
In a fit of rage from losing at the game? Hopefully it's something as an accident.
No, so I moved in with my girlfriend, who would then become my wife. And we were living in a tiny 600 square foot apartment in Dallas. And we decided to move into a larger apartment in the same complex. And so we spent a week just literally hand trucking all of our stuff from one end of the complex to the other, getting everything set up. It was a third floor apartment. It had nice vaulted ceilings. It was a nice upgrade for us. and we got literally everything out of the apartment, and we were spending just a couple of hours just doing a deep clean of the old apartment so that we didn't get dinged for, the cleaning fees and whatnot. Well, the very last box of stuff was a big cardboard box full of kitchen equipment that I put on top of the oven because that was the only clear space in the kitchen at the time. And what I didn't realize is I pushed the box too far back, which kicked a couple of the burner switches on. And so the box caught on fire, and then the fire spread. I found out not because of a fire alarm or fire trucks coming by or anything like that, but we were getting ready to go get something for dinner, and I was just like, oh shit, I left my wallet or something in the new apartment. I'm just going to go run and grab it. And I opened the door and just walked into a black, smoky, soot-filled apartment. The fire had completely burned itself out, and I was just shocked. Like, I just didn't know what to do, so I just stood there for like 10 seconds. And then we called the fire department, and very long story short, turned out the fire department had already been called like 2 hours prior. They came, they knocked on the door, nobody answered, and they left.
Oh man, they
Seems
should
like
be
there's still
fired.
a problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still an issue.
So then we called them again to say, hey, there's been a fire. There is no active fire, but there was one. They came in and hosed the kitchen down with like foam stuff to make sure that no embers were still smoldering. That foam shit destroyed more of our property than the fire did. Because the fire like just completely decimated the kitchen, but then there were some boxes of like precious memories and keepsakes and stuff that were away from that had just gotten like smoke damage, which it's takes time and effort, but you can fix that. Sure. They soaked
not the foam.
Everything, so like just all this waterlogged shit. It was awful. But yeah, so I still have that PC. It's in my garage, and the whole like left side of it is just melted, and I mean it actually kind of looks pretty cool. I'm gonna pull the hard drive out of it one of these days to try to salvage some data, but yeah. So I wasn't gaming for a while after that. But yeah.
So what other traumatic events did you endure in your time away from?
Well, then there was the flood at this new house that we currently live in. If you want more trauma dumping, it's been a rough couple of years, you guys. But overall, no, we're doing fine. But yeah, I've been playing Subnautica. The last game that I really got obsessed with was Control. From Remedy. I played that from start to end. That was a fantastic time, which also kicked my ass into gear to go back and play the first Alan Wake. I have no idea why when I first started playing Alan Wake, I bounced off of it. When that first came out in like 2010, I want to say, I played it for like half an hour. I was just like, and then I just dropped it. I don't know why, because that style of storytelling, that style of story, that style of gameplay, all of it is fantastic. It's like my favorite kind of adventure game. I don't know why I never sat down and beat it. I say that I restarted Alan Wake about 6 months ago. I've gotten about 75% of the way through it, and now
it's still sitting there.
I just haven't finished it, and I need to so I can play Alan Wake 2. And
I was gonna say I haven't played Alan Wake 2 yet. It's on my list of things to do. That might be a good Halloween type of game.
That would be great.
It's a little scary, right? Yeah.
Sure, but where are you gonna play it? Are you gonna play it? You can't play it on your PC. Well, maybe you can play it on your PC, but that's just like a very highly demanding game.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah, it's not annoyingly a demanding game.
I didn't think it was on anything else. I think it was just on PC, right?
I think it's only on PC, and it's not on Steam. It's only on the Epic Games launcher, which is another obstacle. It's a very weird. I don't know why there are so many obstacles to play. Like what many people have said, like one of the greatest games.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. Jared, do you want to go over some of the questions?
I have some questions, Jeff.
There's also some that have been,
Yeah, I've got some questions, and then I know there's some stuff in the chat too, so I don't know if we want to go through some chat stuff. But Jeff, thanks for dealing with us, asking you lots of questions. I will say, just so you know, when we started this back up, you guys were the most asked about. I mean, 100%, like more than anybody. So, it is the Ultra podcast is definitely endured in people's minds. So,
I am touched to hear that. I'm very glad to hear that, and I missed all of you guys too. Everybody in the chat, everybody who used to watch the show back in the day. I really had a lot of fun interacting with y'all, so it's nice to be here again.
It was a fun time for
Yeah,
sure. So anyways, from 4thMG, who is our one of our mods. Hey 4thMG, I know he's here in the chat. He says, "Hi Geoff, you look and or sound fantastic.
Oh shucks.
Are you having a good day? Oh, and what games have you been liking lately? Any games you're looking forward to most?" So I know we got the Subnautica. What about something maybe you're looking forward to? Something like that.
Not Alan Wake 2. We already got that.
I mean, yeah, Alan Wake 2 is pretty high on my list. I keep my eye on a lot of the indie games, a lot of the like weird experimental titles. Much like my comic book reading, shut up, phone. Much like my comic book reading, I was never into capes or any of the major soups. I was always reading weird indie comics and stuff like that. It's the same way as it is for my gaming tastes. So let me just pop Steam open here, and I can just take a look at my wish list. That'll tell that'll tell us a lot.
It's live footage of Jeff's Steam wish list.
If it'll finish updating, good God, Steam. Let's try that again. There we go.
Well, here, you can ask me the next question. Then we'll go back
ask me the next one. We'll come back to it.
So Zedric asks, Zedric, I'm not sure is here, but Zedric's here all the time. Zedric did just have a baby, so
Mazel tov.
Yeah. Congrats to Zedric. What was gaming like for you, Geoff, during the pandemic? Did nothing change, or did you end up with a 3,000-hour save file on Animal Crossing like the rest of the planet?
So I played a bit of Animal Crossing. My wife, that she played hundreds and hundreds of hours of it. Like any time that I hear that woohoo, like when a guy gets a thing in Animal Crossing, anytime I hear that sound, I am pulled back to 2020. I am in that little apartment.
Oh God! Don't you want to go back to 2020?
Oh yeah, just take me back to those good old days. But so no, I didn't play very much Animal Crossing, but I was playing Doom 2016. I was playing Control.
Great game.
Control was one of the ones that got me through it. Those are the big ones. Other than that, I was working through my old like backlog of movies. I was introducing my wife to anime. All that kind of stuff. So, and then we also, my wife and I and our circle of friends, we're all really into board games. So we were figuring out online ways to play board games like Tabletop Simulator and things like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But no, like Doom 2016, Control, and then working through just like getting System Shock 2 functional back before all of the big mods came out for it. And reliving that, playing Deus Ex Remastered, or the HQ mod, I guess would be the right way of saying that. Yeah, a lot of reliving my childhood type of gaming when we were in lockdown.
Nice. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And lastly, from No Good Goody, who is also here, he said, literally, this is a quote, "I don't know if I have a great question yet, but I'd like to share my appreciation for the Ultra Explosion game and technology podcast with Doom and Sexiness. Loved that show so much back in the day." So thank you, No Good Goody.
I'm really glad to hear that. Like I said, we loved making it for y'all. It was always a real party every time that we would shoot in Action Gene's little tiki bar. That was a little, like, again, we were all living in little apartments at the time. So that was a tiki bar that he had shoved into an alcove off of his little galley style kitchen. So there was almost no room behind that thing. Me and Jordan were just like practically up against the wall. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun doing that. The interplay between Jordan and I, in fact, when I rewatched that clip that you uploaded, Tom, there's a moment where someone asks if it's an act, the way that Jordan and I went on. In the olden days, yeah, of course we were like, no, this is just who we are. Of course it was an act. Of course. No, Jordan and I were super good friends, and that like bitchy back and forth was just one of the ways that we would play with each other. So yeah, no, it was even when things looked like they got uncomfortable on camera, no, we were just having a good time.
Yeah, that's what makes it fun, though, too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's that, like,
absolutely.
kind of that gave it that edge, and also that kind of like, do they really hate each other, or
no, very good friends. And that was also one of the ways, one of the reasons that we had so much fun is that we approached it kind of like a hobby. Like it was a group activity that all of us could do, and it was a way to have a fun evening together with everybody. And then usually once the cameras were off, we'd all have a couple of drinks and play games and stuff like that. So it was a great time. So yeah, I miss it to this day.
That's how it was too. When you put it that way, I don't even mean to talk about our podcast, but that's the way when we were doing the old couch podcast. That's the way it was like for us. It was just like,
yeah,
we would go over to Joey's or TJ's and just hang out and it would just like, we'd set the camera up and just hang for a while, and then that would be like the first thing we did for the evening, and then we just hang out for the rest of the night, and that was just kind of how we hung out. So I think that's probably why people liked that show so much, is because it felt organic and it was just friends hanging out. I mean, it really was just that
you had a really positive energy, and everyone could see that. It's funny. A couple of months ago, a YouTuber, I wish I could remember which one it was, but I watched a retrospective on video essayists and video podcasts from the early days of YouTube. And so it was talking about like the old Channel Awesome group and the Angry Video Game Nerd and all like Spoonie, like everybody that you can think of from that era. And it's funny to see how much things have evolved and developed over the years, and how much stuff was very of its time. So like y'all's podcast was very just friends hanging out, talking about stuff that they're passionate about. Whereas with the Ultracast, we decided to lean heavily into the artifice. And one of the things that you just had to do if you were making video content on the internet in 2008 was you had to have storylines. You had to have some stupid fucking like connective tissue between all of your episodes. And so we had like a storyline about a crazy obsessed fan that was trying to kill me. We had all kinds of stuff planned to like expand on the lore of Jordan Doom and all that kind of stuff. And it's so funny to go back and look at that and see, like, if you didn't do that, you were afraid that no one would bother watching you again. No one would be willing to follow you or subscribe to your channel or whatever at the time, because it wasn't enough. We were afraid it wasn't enough to just give you the news in an entertaining way. You had to, the way that people were consuming video back then, everything was skits and stories and entertainment. And so just talking about what's happening, you had to zhuzh it up, and we probably didn't. We probably could have just gotten away with just doing our thing and doing it. Because I'm sure that had we been able to maintain that and like switch to YouTube or something like that, we could have kept that following going for a while. It would have been a lot of fun, I think.
Well, I persist that if like the guy, at least me and Mickey, I don't mean to speak for Mickey, but speaking for me personally, like if I would have been in a better place in my life personally, like at that time, the gamers would have been so much better, just because I would have put more into it, and I really wasn't always at my best back then. It's kind of a regret that I have, but
it's same on our side as well, because like I mentioned that South Peak shut down, and so a lot of us were unemployed. Director Shane was trying to get gigs and get paying gigs, and so he didn't always have the time to shoot and things of that nature. And so there was a period of instability for all of us that prevented us from pouring in the extra effort it would have taken to keep things rolling. And yeah, I don't know if I would say it's like a deep regret that I have, but it's more like an aw shucks, an opportunity missed. Because again, like I've said 100 times already, doing that, working with y'all, working on the show, that was a lot of fun. It's a highlight of that period of my life, definitely.
No doubt. Well, cool. Well, I want to highlight this comment real quick, if that's okay. Lego Todito says, And conversely, on the Game Heroes podcast, people think Tom is playing a character who doesn't know what's going on, but in reality, he's seriously clueless. That's I just thought that was pretty good. Anyway, well, yeah, listen, I mean, unless you guys have any closing thoughts on just catching up with Geoff, I mean, we're not like, you know, this is not the last time we're going to talk to you, so I don't want to act like we're eulogizing you or anything, so I figured we could just...
No, it's just this part of the internet is our little hug box.
It is. That's true. It's true. It's our, yeah.
One thing I do want to circle back to, people were asking what games I'm looking forward to.
Please,
There's
yeah.
one game that I do want to signal boost, and that would be Moving Houses. This is a little indie game that's being developed by a single developer. It is one of those chore games, like a Power Washer Simulator or something of that, or a dad game, if you will. Moving Houses is very much about packing up a house, getting it all ready, and moving it to a new house. Sounds simple on the top, but what if the house you were moving into was the house from House of Leaves?
Oh my God, you're kidding me. That's insane.
So the presentation is very cutesy and lighthearted, and it looks like it's just going to be one of those fun,
God.
chore games, but there's something else. And again, any game that has a "but there's something else" kicker to it usually just grabs me. So
you think you can accidentally burn down your new house with the boxes on the stove?
If you can't, 0 out of 5 would not recommend.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, check out Moving Houses.
That's awesome.
Wish listed on Steam. I want this guy to be successful. So there you
go.
Cool.
I've got it pulled up, so I'll definitely check it out further. Yeah, we were just talking about House of Leaves on the stream just the other day. Also, Lego said, "Can you imagine the technical issues Jared would have had if he tried streaming in 2003?" This is fucking truth.
Wouldn't have fucking worked at all.
I wouldn't have done it.
Nope.
Yeah, there's a reason that I didn't do it.
Your fucking 100 base T broadband cable connection? Absolutely not.
My $7.
You don't realize how much time an hour podcast would take to upload. God. I'd do it overnight, and then it would stop in the middle, and it would take me a couple of days to get it to work. That big of a file.
The first thing I ever did on the internet as like a personality, not just a user on the internet, but like presenting as a personality. A couple of my nerdy ass friends, we had this website called the Guild of the Void Pointer, and it was just a little forum, a PHP boom forum, where we would just like link weird stuff on the internet and chat about tech news and stuff like that. And my friend and I recorded 12 episodes of a literal podcast where we would release the episodes as MP3s that you'd have to go to our website and download. That is what it was like in 2003. I need you to understand that.
Oh my God. Yeah, well, thank God that we are out of those days and we're on to the modern era where it's remarkably easy.
Download OBS and log on to Twitch and you're done.
Yeah. And any old dumbass like me and us can have a podcast.
Exactly.
Anyway, well, yeah, if that's it for our catch-up segment, we can move on to the news, if you guys are okay with that.
Of course.
All right, well, let me play the theme song. Hold on one second.
Pow.
I don't know if you can hear the theme song, Geoff.
I cannot.
News? Sorry. It's the Tri-Source News with Handsome Tom.
All right, TJ, take it away, man. What you got for me?
I think I want to start with the Silver Snipers.
Okay,
so,
all right. Here we go.
Because
I love them so much.
I think it's going to be a goal of the Game Heroes in the future. So,
I was going to say, we're close.
When we retire, no, we're not. I mean, the youngest guy is 62.
Yeah, so what?
We're not
like
that
20
close.
years?
We're closer to that than we were back in the early days.
Yes.
No, we're not going to go that far. Anywhere, I really want to do some kind of competitive old group once we have time and retire. I think that's pretty badass. So the Silver Snipers, they're from Sweden, and apparently they play Counter-Strike. And the youngest member, who is 62, is Teen Slayer.
That is great
That's his
name.
handle. And then the oldest is 81. So I kind of want to, because my dad plays Call of Duty. I mean, the problem is, he's not as good as I am at Call of Duty. So I don't
Yeah.
know. He'd have to do practice a lot more. But
Yeah, well,
you know,
who's to
they're
say you're
sponsored
gonna
by
be any
Lenovo.
good?
Yeah, and they're assembled to broaden the audience for esports. I don't know how many old people are going to watch esports, but you never know. We're getting older. Maybe we'll start watching it. But I thought
My
it was
mom is
cool.
of a certain age, and I have found her watching a couple of bits of gaming content from time to time.
Okay.
So
No
it
kidding.
is out there. It is out there.
Well, good. That gives us hope for our future. But I thought it was cool, and you know, I think it would be a fun, like, once the kids are gone, maybe, you know, out of the house, for me at least. Then we're like, you know what, we're starting a league, and
Well, what
we're
we
just gonna
should
go
do
around
is
and
we
kick people's
should
asses.
we should bring back the LAN party. When
I'm telling you.
Well, I
when-
mean, the LAN party's still here. You just have to go to QuakeCon once a year.
well,
but no one gets their computers together just to like have like 10 people in a house playing games. Like that style of LAN party just does not seem to happen anymore, or
But here's what we
very
do.
rarely.
we BYOC the retirement home, or just the retirement home is BYOC. It's like,
No, the
come
beach
come
house.
live here.
So, okay. So when you think about things like old people games like shuffleboard and backgammon and things of that nature, that is like
Bocce.
culturally a touchstone. Hey, fuck you! I play bocce on the
Hey.
regular with my wife.
Exactly. Point.
But yeah. Anyways, I'm telling you, when we get to retirement age, the like Xbox LAN party is going to be the shuffleboard of our generation.
That's actually
Like
the
the
retirement
throwback.
homes are gonna
Yeah.
just have PC labs and like Xboxes just installed in a hangout room.
it's like a college LAN party, because I don't know if you
Exactly.
remember back in the day, but all computers were hooked up together in the same network, and we used to break into people's computers because there was the software. I don't know, you don't remember that? We'd log into people's computers and download all their stuff.
So
Or change, yeah.
right before the Game Heroes was a thing, going back to that Guild of the Void Pointer, the other thing that we did was that we used to host LAN parties for Acon.
That's right.
There were two groups that would do that. There was the more popular group, which I forget their name, it was like Clan of the Claw or something like that, and they would do a pay by the hour LAN party on the main floor of Acon. The Guild of the Void Pointer would host a BYOC LAN party in one of the meeting rooms upstairs. And that's exactly how it worked. We would just set up a local network, and anytime anybody had something cool, we'd all just download it onto our computers. I remember one LAN party, that was the first place I ever saw stair dismount, because one dude had this weird little tiny game from a Swedish developer on his PC. And after everybody like saw him dicking around with it in between rounds, that game got copied onto every PC in that meeting room. And for like 4 hours, it was just a bunch of sweaty nerds pushing ragdolls downstairs and laughing our asses off. It was a magical time.
That sounds amazing.
All right. We're gonna go from old to new. So let's
Okay.
do the Meta Quest Orion.
Okay, I
you
have this
heard of
whole
Jeff?
video. I have this whole.
Oh, you have the whole video?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the video is pretty long. I mean, I guess we
Oh,
can
yeah,
talk
no, we're-
over it, but
Yeah, yeah.
Here, let me
you
get
know,
ready for
this is. Oh, you have a set.
not the Orion, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's badass, and I'm trying to think of what applications in video games they're gonna do. So basically, it's an AR device. So like what is it? Apple has the
The Vision.
Vision Pro.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is they kind of knock each other off, because this one's still guided by your eyes. You select it and you just tap your fingers, just like the Apple Vision Pro. So I'm like, who's ripping who off, or is there one company that owns this gesture? I don't know.
The gesture-based input
This
stuff,
thing?
no
Yeah.
one like technically owns that. There are multiple patents that are very similar to each other, and at the
Yeah.
end of the day, no one can own doing this.
Maybe.
it's the
You don't know that.
sensors. Well, that's true, but it's the sensors that are patented
Well, see,
technology.
so the sensor in the wrist. So my Apple Watch does that too. So that's already out. But the Vision Pro, it doesn't. like you don't need to wear a wristband. With these glasses,
Yeah,
you wear
it's
a
just doing
wristband.
hand tracking with cameras.
Yeah, but anyway, you know, Doom, the Doom and Sexiness Technology podcast. I had to bring this up because I thought,
Of
you know,
course.
what perfect time.
I would like to talk about.
uh,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jeff.
No,
Yeah.
Well, okay, so these are the X-Real Airs. So I got these shortly after they released. And I'll be 100% honest with you, 99% of my use case for these is watching YouTube or TV shows in bed. I can lay on my back, have what appears to be like an 80-inch screen like 5 feet away from my face. It's fantastic. But I barely use any of the AR stuff because the AR ecosystem right now is not very robust. It's I wasn't going to say garbage, but you said it, not me. It's I don't have a lot of positive use cases for actual AR stuff. Now,
Well,
the Orion, what was that?
Oh, I was going to say, keep going. All right.
Oh, okay. So the Orion, unfortunately, is not going to be a product that you can buy. When it was in development, the goal was to release it as a product that you could, have in your hands. Unfortunately, Meta still hasn't figured out a way to build these in mass and not have them cost something like $10,000.
Well, so they bring this up in the video. So this video, they say, hey, here's where we're at, but it's just so expensive, nobody can afford it. And we don't know how to mass produce it. Yeah.
And so what they're doing is that they're really staking their foot in the ground to say, okay, this is what we're focusing on. This is where we're going. They have approximately 1,000 of them. Yeah, all the games that they've developed are just like the guys that do Facebook coding on their free time are like, hey, let's put together a game for the AR stuff. None of the gaming on it is very good, and I don't think it will be anytime soon. Other than like very stationary, like, I don't know, find the hidden object or interacting with like a Minecraft style play system, like actual like run around and shoot your friends type of gaming.
Well, see,
we've got a ways to go before we get there.
I want to see Doom. Like, I want to be able to go outside and then like a Coco Demon flies in and like I pick up my fake weapon and like aim. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think there's some kind of fun applications for games here.
I'm sorry. Did you say Coco Demon?
I was about to say,
What was it called?
A Caco Demon, my friend.
Yeah, whatever.
Coco Demon is either the children's show from hell, or it's like the new chocolate cereal that's coming out.
I'm sorry, I pulled a Mickey and I misspoke.
You did, yeah.
But you know what I'm saying. I think it would be really fun. I like the idea. This is kind of exactly what I wanted to see the Apple Vision Pro kind of do.
Well,
but And
the problem is that it's like quantum computing. We're only 10 years away from it, and we've been 10 years away from it for 30 years or whatever. The Magic Leap, which was announced at least a decade ago at this point, shortly after the Oculus, that was what they were promising, is like full AR, immersive gaming, reactive, all that kind of stuff. And today, what the Magic Leap is a pretty nice AR headset that is predominantly used for technical applications, like manufacturing and engineering and stuff like that. Right. So Meta is doing a good thing in that they had their big announcement, their big press conference today, and they devoted a certain amount of time to this to be able to give developers and other hardware manufacturers the confidence that this company with an obscene amount of money in its pockets is willing to spend to get to here. So I am hopeful that in the next 5 or 6 years, we'll see some significant developments. But like, first and foremost, just having the 70-degree view angle in an AR headset and being able to buy that for less than $2,000, that will be the big game changer. Because like these X-Real Airs, pretty good. 1080p resolution, it's fine. It's good enough for watching video content or, reading basic text, but I wouldn't put my main work monitor on these. We're nowhere near that place. But having a 70-degree field of view at 2K resolution, that's when we'll start to see real shit start to happen, where we'll see developers making cool games with AR applications and whatnot. We're just not there yet. Once we can get 2K at a 70-degree or greater view angle for less than $1,000, that's where I think things will actually take a turn.
Well, those
that's just me.
The glasses you showed, I would like to point out, look like glasses. When you put them on, I would have thought Jeff's just wearing sunglasses.
Yeah. So, no, and they are designed to look like sunglasses because they actually the display concept is this 45-degree angle crystal right there.
It's like a camera lens or like a SLR
and that's
camera.
literally what it is. It's in the top of the glasses in this bump right here. There are 2 micro projectors, effectively, like screens that are like a quarter of an inch wide, and this lens is stretching it out to full size and then angling it so that it appears in front of my face.
So it's like the 3D games that they used to make in the arcades. So it's got that angled thing, and it's project, or the pinball. Star Wars pinball had that. Star Wars Episode 1. That kind of technology.
Exactly.
The Meta glasses are huge. Can I just talk about quickly just how huge they are? They're huge. They're the biggest
chunky boys.
things. They are chunky boys. They're like, you know how like when people get older,
dude,
and they
put on a Meta
lose
Quest.
their
That thing is.
Well, yeah, but that's a Meta Quest. That's like a VR headset. I mean, I'm not saying that. I just think putting it in a glasses form factor, like if it doesn't fit in that form factor, it just looks silly. So when it is really big and thick like that, it stands out. So with yours do not stand out as much.
Well, and so, but there's the give and take. The Meta Quest, or I'm sorry, the Orion is a chunky boy, but it's not significantly fatter than what I'm holding in front of you. And the big difference here is that these only have accelerometer-based positional tracking. They're very fine and precise tracking. So when I have used the AR stuff, it's pretty steady. Like, windows stay where I put them and all that kind of stuff. But it is only 3 degrees of movement. So it's only angles and turning. The moment I stand up and move, everything stands up and moves with me. The Orion has a bevy of like 12 cameras or at least 8 cameras that are constantly analyzing all of the surroundings and creating digital anchor points to figure out where you are in physical space. So you can stand up, you can sit down, you can walk around a room, and whatever you placed in 3D space will stay there and it will know where it is. Plus, they also have internal lenses that are looking at your eyes to do the eye tracking for inputs and all of that kind of stuff. This does not have any of that. This is just a really nice head-mounted display that has some AR functionality. That's it.
Okay.
So the fact that the Orion's a little bit chunkier makes sense in that department, but how much shit they've packed into it and it's only that thick, that's impressive. And it's not tethered to the processing unit. What you're not seeing is that there's a USB cable that plugs into one of the earpieces and it connects to my phone. So that's how you use that. Whereas the Orion is it's a free-floating device that has a secondary free-floating device that does the hard thinking and beams everything back to the headset.
Interesting.
So
cool.
Give it 5 or 6 years, they'll probably be able to slim it down and reduce the price a little bit.
And not look totally ridiculous.
And
it looks like when like older people, they like lose their hair and they need to like peacock in a different way, so like I'm just get these big thick red glasses, you know what I mean? That's what it reminds me of. Like, just like, do you like my new glasses? Like,
yeah.
God, all right.
When we start our Counter-Strike team, you got to wear big thick red glasses, man.
That's what I'm gonna do when I get older. That's how I'm gonna express myself. Is I'm just gonna wear big thick red frames. Okay, cool. Is there one more news story?
There's one more. I just want to do some highlights here because there was a lot of stuff that they showed. I mean, Astrobot's cool, but Alan Wake 2. So Alan Wake 2 is coming on the PS5. So we were just talking about that.
Along with a expansion.
Yeah, so that is probably the version I'm going to buy because my PC needs updating sometime. We'll get there. I'm not worried about it.
Legacy of Kain. God in the box like I am.
Yeah, no. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered. So this was leaked like 4 days ago.
Yeah,
really, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so I think was Dustin and Cameraman Joe. Was it you? You guys were into that game.
Love Legacy
every day.
Yeah.
So I remember playing it with both those guys later after those games came out. But that's pretty cool. I'm always glad to see remastered stuff. I just wish it was a little more affordable for some of them. Some of them are
Yeah.
priced right. I'm still waiting on that Star Wars game to drop. It is way too expensive.
What,
The old
Outlaws?
DOS one. No, the old DOS one. They remade it this year, and it was like $40, and I was
dude,
like,
Dark Forces.
That's Dark Forces, and I bought that day one. What are you talking about? It's too expensive. Do you know how much
It's
work
like
went into
$30,
that game?
right?
oh my god,
Yeah.
it's still $30. I'm gonna, you know what? Black Friday, I'm gonna pay $10. I'm gonna be super happy about it.
I mean, that's fine, but like they priced it reasonably. I just want to go on record as saying that.
You think it's reasonable? Okay, well, I thought it was a little too expensive.
The amount of effort that they put in, it's not just running a DOS box emulation. Like it's a new engine built from the ground up. Technically, I'm getting into the weeds here, but yeah,
that's all good. All good. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. I'm stoked about that.
Could be a lot of fun.
I love that game.
What are they adding?
I don't know who the girl lizard is. Mondo Gecko's in it now, so they had 2 new characters, and then the girl lizard, which I honestly don't know.
The
I don't know
girl
who she is.
lizard.
They say her
Is she a
name.
lizard or a turtle?
Okay.
She's a lizard. Mondo Gecko is a lizard. You don't remember Mondo Gecko?
I don't remember Mondo Gecko.
The Simpsons kind of make fun of him a little bit. So they it's
There we
like
go.
it's just a random character they threw in. There's the girl.
Oh, that's Mona Lisa. Is who that is, according to this. It's Mona Lisa.
Oh,
Mona Lisa was
Don't
in the
you
newer
guys
cartoons.
know the
No,
the famous...
okay. So I do know who Mona Lisa is. She was in I
Do you?
watched
I
the not the latest, but the one before this everybody liked that had
lizard.
Johnny Knoxville was Leonardo actually in the voice for that. I don't know if you knew that.
oh shit.
What?
Yeah.
For what?
Am I losing my mind? For the turtles that it's Seth. Let me see. Johnny Knoxville.
Johnny Knoxville was Leonardo? They were kids. They were all teens.
No. This is for the one that came out like 10 years ago.
Oh. Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What,
okay.
TMNT? Is that what you're talking
I
about?
thought you were
It was
just dropping like some insane VO history
Me
knowledge.
too.
No. Yeah, Johnny Knoxville was. Oh no, sorry. Johnny Knoxville was Leonardo for the live action. But there's Seth Green. Who did Robot Chicken?
Seth Green did, yeah.
Seth Green is a part of the one I'm thinking of. Sorry.
I see.
Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Anyway, got a little sidetracked there. There's another Metro game. Like I'm kind of over those. They were kind of cool, but I feel like they release a new Metro game every year now. So
I think this is, and this is just a.
And this
is
one's
it not,
just a VR experience.
right. It's just the VR.
I don't have a PS VR, and I need to get one because I still want to play Doom, and I still want to play. You know, somebody's bringing up Alex from Half-Life. I still haven't played that. It's been on my list, but I don't have anything that plays it. I haven't met a Quest 2.
No, you can't play Half-Life Alex on a PSVR.
So, to answer 4thMG, who asked if I've played it, no, but I can. I've got a Oculus 2, I think, and I was able to get Steam VR working on it tethered. But I decided not to play it because I wanted to wait until I had a better VR headset that could produce much more high fidelity visuals. The version of the Oculus that I currently have has a little too much screen door for me, and if I'm gonna play Alex, I want to play it right. So one day I'll have a headset that'll actually be.
That's why I also have not played it, because I have the MetaQuest 2, and I just don't think it'll live up to what it should be.
And that's also why I have not played it.
Hey, Geoff, speaking of which, in this state of play, they were also talking about the PS5 Pro updates, and they're trying to justify that $700 price tag. What do you think about the $700 PS5 Pro? And if you already have a PS5, why would you spend the money for it?
I don't. And when you dig into the archive and you find that god-awful debate that I had with one of our viewers about buying a PS3, yes or no,
A PS3?
you'll find that a lot of the argument points that I made still remain the same. Of just like the gaming library doesn't justify the cost. There are amazing games that are on the PlayStation, but especially today, most of those titles come to PC eventually anyways, and I'll get an even better experience on my PC than I will on a PlayStation. But all of that being said, even ignoring all of that, like, okay, you've got the PS5 that plays everything, then the PS5 Pro that is marginally faster, has a little bit more storage, and doesn't have an optical drive. Like,
It's also slightly smaller, and it has multiple panels to make it look cooler. Come on,
yeah,
Jeff.
I could put stickers on the old one to make it look cool too. Like that does not fucking matter. Yeah, the only one that even like piqued my interest slightly was the extremely limited edition one that they released. That's in the PS1 colorway. That
pretty
looks
cool.
nice. Like,
Yeah.
I like the way it looks.
Orders for that are tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got a buddy
I'm not
who's gonna
gonna
try
only-
and beat the bot.
Yeah, I
Play the
just
game,
want
beat the
that
bot
one.
tomorrow.
Like, I'm not even gonna open it. I have a PS5. Don't need it. I
Yeah.
just want the collector's side of things.
And for me, it's not even a collector's thing. It looks good. Like it is
Looks sexy.
attractive looking product in that colorway. Other than that, it looks like a fucking Wi-Fi router. But like, yeah, no, the $700 thing. No,
Oh Jesus, is this? Oh God.
Okay, I'll go trade him. Anyway, there's a couple other ones we've already heard some of these. Lego Fortnite, everybody knew was coming out. Stellar Blade, you know, some indie titles here. Lunar Collection Remastered, it's pretty badass. Of course, Astrobot. But anyway, that's the news for this week. Some fun stuff. I mean,
Nice.
we were right on the money because both those things happened today. The glasses and the
yeah,
yeah. Anyway,
That was today.
yeah.
Oh wow.
yeah, both of those
Wow.
dropped
We are on
today.
the cutting edge of
We're
news.
so money.
What do you want?
Are we?
Do you have a collector's corner? You do.
Are we
Okay.
ready?
All right.
Yes.
We are. Yeah. We have Handsome Tom's collector's corner. All right. Take it away.
All right, so I didn't have much time this week, so I did the 32X. So for those of you, the 32X was a beast of a machine. Everybody's seen the monstrosity. You know, what you didn't know is that it came with 2 different plates at the bottom. Did you know this, Jeff? So most people didn't use the plates. They threw them away. So the plates were to fit on their plastic plates specifically for the connection between the Genesis and
yes.
the 32X.
Yeah,
And
the
nobody ever
stabilizers.
used them, which made it
Yeah.
wobbly. So if you bumped it, it would screw up your game.
Yeah.
So it's hard to find the weird little piece so you can go, I believe it was the Generation 2, you definitely had to have it. Generation 1, it fit perfectly. And Generation 3, it actually does not work. So did you know that? The 3rd generation will not use the 32X.
I didn't know that.
I
skipped all of those problems by just buying a CDX back then.
You still have it? Because I need one.
No, I sold it millions of years ago to build my first PC.
But the CDX,
I kick myself to this day.
I don't think you can use the CDX with 32X, can you?
It had the 32X built into it.
No. Am I losing my mind? That can't be right.
I think
It was
you
a
might
Sega
be.
Genesis with
Are you
32X
serious?
capabilities and a CD player.
CDX.
That's why it's
I'm
the
looking it up.
CDX.
He's looking it up. We need music
God.
for.
It's
we need
entirely
looking it
possible
up
that
music.
maybe I'm making that up, but I virtually
You're making it up, actually. Can you use the CDX with the 32X? There's been a lot of questions. Well, it works. And yeah, it wasn't built in.
Okay.
What's the?
There
what's the verdict?
there
Not
is a
built in?
3D printed mount now.
Well, I'm gonna give you
That
some
people
booze, Jeff.
are trying to document, and then you had to have a weird connector cable to make it work.
Yeah, fair enough.
My mind would
Well,
have
either way,
blown.
I never fucked with the 32X, so.
I would have bought one like yesterday if that was true. Okay,
Yeah.
so 32X. We're gonna go with what I got. I only have one 32X, not in the box, which makes me sad. But I do have the plates that go between the other Genesises. Genesis.
Here we go. This is his bragging. He's got the plates.
Yeah. Well, it's just fun. Something people don't talk about. Come
It's
on.
like, listen, do you have the plates to separate your 32X?
Oh, God.
You're not a real collector if you don't have the plates.
So I don't. There's what's crazy is it's actually not that expensive right now, except for a couple of games to collect the 32X. So if you're into collecting something, you can actually complete and only spend. Okay, well, without buying the 2 expensive games, you could spend about $2,000. Pretty easy to have the entire 32X collection with
Wait, what?
the unit itself.
That's
What?
pretty easy. The $2,000 purchase price is
Do you know how expensive games are these days?
No, you're
Yes.
right.
You
You're
live
right.
in a
You're right.
different world than I do, Tom.
I know,
No,
right?
No,
Like, I'm
You
glad
can
that
get into
that's
this
easy for you.
32X today
Okay, so
for $2,000.
so hold on. I am comparing
Sewer sharks.
prices of other games, not necessarily prices that I would want to spend on these things. So
Fair
let's
enough.
put. Does that make sense?
I was about to say I had to justify spending $400 on a 3D printer. So like,
no. A good example is Jeff.
use.
We went over my Engage collection last time, and that thing was worth like that $2,500. So
I believe that.
That's more expensive than my 32X collection, and nobody cares about that thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
they just only made a couple hundred of them or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. No, so that's why I'm comparing it to the expensive prices of today. Not
Fair
that
enough.
I just have money to throw around, because then I would have all the games if I just had tons of money to throw around.
Yeah, you will have this money to throw around when you sell
someday.
all this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I sell it all.
Well, to use my catchphrase from 1,000 years ago, fair enough.
Fair enough. Oh my god, yeah, you use that so much.
If you can find that supercut that somebody made of me,
fair enough.
So
supercut?
happy. Yes.
Actually, somebody's.
I bet TJ has it.
I don't know. Okay, Jeff. Here's the problem. The videos that I edited of the Doom and Sexiness podcast are the ones that I have. The ones that Shane edited, I don't have copies of.
The supercut was made by one of our fans.
Some fan.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
But you have to remember, YouTube wasn't a thing. We were only posting on Blip and other things because we were getting paid out at the time.
Yeah.
So YouTube was just kind of a side way to try to gain followers. So YouTube just wasn't big enough. One pathetic loser. Thank you, Resident Evil dick. I'm just kidding. I'm just gonna go over a few of the box.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So Knuckles, Chaotix.
Chaotix. Oh my god.
Chaotix.
It's chaotic.
Chaotic.
Your Coco demon.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jeff. Here's my box 32X.
Jesus Christ.
Doom,
Vietnamese food.
Virtua Fighter, NBA Jam Tournament Edition, was actually a really good version of the game. I know there are better versions that came out later, but that was like the best time. Same thing with Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat 2 on this thing was amazeballs.
Oh yeah.
Like everybody always says, "Oh man, the Super Nintendo is better than the regular Genesis," but the 32X was better than both of them. Minus if you were playing
That
with
was
the original
almost
controller.
arcade quality.
Yeah, it was amazeballs. Star Trek, the Battleship Bridge Simulator.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this wasn't on very many systems. Tempo was cool, a platformer with music.
I did a review on Tempo.
You did?
Yeah. And you were
Calibri.
like, I was at your house and you were just like, I don't know, pick a game. It's like, okay, do Tempo.
Calibri, which is a weird game about a hummingbird. I bought this online, like on eBay. I'm like, oh man, I played it, I loved it. I only had the cartridge back in the day, so I bought it, and I didn't know the guy was sending me a new and sealed copy, so I haven't opened it.
Wow.
So I still have a sealed copy of Calibri, Zaxxon's Mother Base 2000.
What? What was that?
And then don't forget Zaxxon.
Zaxxon.
Oh,
So
okay.
Zaxxon
Sorry.
was an old school arcade game. I had it on
Yes,
the
I
PC
remember.
or the Apple IIe back in the day, and this is the 2000 version, which actually didn't look pretty bad or pretty good. It looked pretty good. And then don't forget
on my Magnavox PC compatible.
Oh, geez, yes, that's an old ass game.
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen's Slam City. So you got to remember there were CD games that you had to have the 32X, but you didn't put a cartridge in. It just used the power of the 32X. Supreme Warrior, and then of course Fahrenheit if you want to put out some fires. In full motion video fires. We got Afterburner, Carnage Revenge, Space Harrier, Star Wars, BC Races, Virtual Fighting. Star Wars, this one was great. They've re-released one several times. This is the arcade one. So I don't, the one with the controller that it's a Vector, the Vector game re-released. So the games that I currently own with my 32X is worth $1,494. So $1,400 is sitting right here on the desk.
Oh my god! All right, why are you talking like you're a drug dealer right now? Like, all right, there's $4,200 right here on the desk.
I mean, Knuckles is worth $208. So that's one of the more expensive ones. Tempo's $130. Calibri's $254. But what I did want to talk about is some of the expensive games for the 32X. Anybody know those?
Was Scotty Slam City?
Spider-Man, Web of Fire? No. These are the games that I don't own. So Scotty or Web of Fire is like $4,000.
I've never heard of that.
You've never heard of Spider-Man Web of Fire? Hold on.
No.
Give me 2 seconds.
Have you seen?
I remember.
Sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
No, I remember playing Spider-Man versus Carnage featuring music by Green Jello before they had to become Green Jelly
Oh yeah.
on the Super Nintendo. But that's it
Web
from
of
that era.
Fire. I don't remember.
Okay,
this.
so there's some games I really want to get that I'm missing. I mean, WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game's on here, which I've never owned, but that one's kind of expensive at 135, and that's just the box. That's not complete or anything like that. But Virtual Fighter Special Training Pack, that's $1,300, $3,000 if you have the box. So that's a good one to have. But where is Spider-Man? Spider-Man Web of Fire, $650 with just the cartridge, or $1,500 with the cartridge and the box.
I'm watching some gameplay of that. Is very weird looking.
Yeah, they just didn't make very many. There's a story behind it. I think maybe it was one of the last games released. I don't remember. There's a story why it's so expensive.
Have you seen what Slam City with Scottie Pippen looks like? Do you know what that game is? It's like one of those FMV.
Yeah, it's a full motion video. It's not good. It never.
Hold on, I want to see if I can
see some gameplay.
Yeah,
Jared, when I saw the back of this, I was like, you need to start playing some 32X Slam City games.
Sorry, I'm just trying to make this happen.
It was super glitchy and like I didn't like it, but I haven't played it since I bought it, so I don't remember. That's how much I didn't like it.
There was a football game on Sega Saturn that was like this. I can't remember what that was like or what that was called.
TV Sports Football.
Is that what it is?
So
yeah, I guess that is. I think that is. Yeah.
TV Sports Football is on the TurboGrafx 16.
Oh, then I think I'm thinking of something different. This is just a very.
I'm just getting Sewer Shark flashbacks watching this.
I know. Right?
Yeah, it's same kind of thing.
Yes.
Speaking of which, Sewer Shark on the 3DO is amazing compared to the Sega CD. That's the one.
Yes,
full screen instead of having the little window thing. So anyway, Jeff, we've been doing this collection thing, every week for the last few weeks. We are up to $20,690 on my smaller.
Good God, man!
Dude.
So, for reference, my PS1 is worth $6,000. The Jaguar's worth $1,500. The 32X.
Why is your PS1 worth $6,000?
I have some super rare and unopened games. Trombone is worth $1,000.
Oh shit! Okay.
But you have like 70 PS1 games, right? Wasn't that what?
75 PS1 games, 3 consoles, so $6,000.
I just want to call out Serpent Knight. Yes, you are absolutely correct. That's Five Nights at Freddy's was heavily inspired by Night Trap. And I'm not as familiar with Double Switch, but yeah, no, the developer grew up. Is roughly my age. Grew up with that in his history. So yeah, you are correct.
Man, Scott's being awfully salty tonight. I just want to bring this up really quick. He called me out on pinball. And I destroyed him.
What about pinball?
So we've been playing. Like one day he types in, "Hey man, I've been beating all Tom's scores. That's why I haven't been around." And I'm like, I haven't played that mother effing pinball game in 5 years. Like
which pinball game?
Pinball
I'm
FX2.
a bit of a pinball
FX3. Yeah, pinball FX3. So the virtual.
I've got that. I will.
Okay.
We need to be friends on that. Yeah.
So we'll post it. People will add you if you're okay with adding people from the Discord. I'll add you too. But anyway, he just like, I beat it. I'm like, hey man, it took me one try. And so he beat mine. I was like, okay. And last night I just destroyed him, like doubled his total amount. So that's why he's so salty.
Which table?
Aliens pinball.
Okay.
Aliens.
So I got just about 100 million, and he's stuck in the 30 millions. So whatever.
Nice.
He's stuck way back there in the 30 mils.
So I beat every single one of his scores in Alien pinball, all the 3 Alien pinball machines. So come at me, Scott. I mean, you can keep trash talking, but I don't think
I do want to point out, Lego. We weren't gonna do a video game roundup today because of Jeff. We were gonna replace that segment with just talking to Jeff, but Tom was like, hold on, we've got to do it so I can shit talk Lego about the pinball thing. So anyway,
hey, add us. We got a nice fun competition going for a game that we haven't played in forever.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, honestly, we've been on for over an hour, so I think we will do the game another time, if that's okay with you guys. And I think we'll probably just wrap the show up unless there's anything else pressing.
Excellent.
All good? All right. Well, hey, that's it for the Game Heroes podcast live this week. Once again, if you're watching on YouTube, please drop us a like. It helps a lot. And be sure to stop by our Twitch stream sometime, because if you're not, you're truly missing out. If you want us to answer your questions on the podcast, please leave them in the YouTube comments or on Discord. Big thanks to Lego Todito for all that you do, everyone in chat, and to all the Discord members. For those of you in the chat, we're going to hang out and raid somebody, so stick around for that. Thanks to 8-Bit Mickey. We miss you and love you, and we will see you soon. And yeah, who should we raid? Do we have anybody?
Well, Geoff, any last thoughts?
Oh,
Thanks for joining, man.
Thanks again, Geoff. Yeah.
If you want to go to
thrilled to be
Retropalooza and
here.
film with us, I need to look up what that date is, but we're probably going to be, hopefully, be doing that.
Yeah, let me see if I can make it work. My schedule is kind of weird these days, but I would love to do something like that.
All right.
But yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for having me on. I'd love to come back on again in the future.
New Mickey rocks. Anyway, I got Last Ditch, Stellar Death. Have you done Stellar Death yet? The guy who plays like the heavy guitar music when people rate him. It's kind of fun. Angry Joe Show. Three Legs only has 7 people right now, which is not very many for him. Somebody's playing Dark Souls 2. Whatever you want to do, man.
Yeah, I can't do it, so if you can type it in, that would be helpful for me. Yeah. So
What do you want to do? You want Stellar Death?
Do the metal guy. I like that guy.
Yeah, he's a pretty fun guy. All right.
All right, thanks.
Done.
Good to see you, 4th MG, Lego Todito, Bad Pants, Serpent Knight. Thank you, Geoff, for joining us. Yeah,
It was a pleasure.
Let's do it sooner than later, okay?
Agreed.
All right, cool. All right, are we rating? Is it happening now?
Just happened.
Okay, cool.